Okay. I don't even know where to start, and I have notes, which I don't normally do. But I took your advice, Spencer. I'm not editing anything, so there's that. But I took your advice, and at least I wrote down some thoughts for today's post. It is still morning, by the way. It's gotta be like 40-something degrees out here. It feels good though. It feels great. It's great running weather. Spencer said, "Hey, I enjoy your videos, but sometimes you do this random thing. You can just edit. I don't have time for editing. That's how authentic I am. If I make a mistake, God damn it, I made a mistake. So, hey, we're gonna keep rolling. Or if I break off in random thought, I break off in random thoughts, and we keep going. That is my level of authenticity as we discuss wearing a mask and how the mask that we wear in society, how it impacts us." So I did write these notes. I wrote these notes. I have them here. And I kept thinking about this topic all week because I wanted to make sure that I hit the points I want to hit. Clearly, this is a subjective video, by no means objective. I mean, it's a soapbox moment. Hello. But I would like to have other people's thoughts on it. So, Kelly, when you watch it, share your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on it. When I was writing down my notes about this topic, I ended up with 2 buckets. I had a bucket for the mask that we wear in society, right? Rules of operating in a community, filters that we put on ourselves, and then how we take those masks and create a story for ourselves. So that was one bucket. The second bucket was our personal journey in removing the mask, getting to a level of authenticity where we are safe, appreciated by ourselves, not society. This is us removing the mask. So let's do society first, right? Let me go there first. Because we all wear a mask, we all have a filter. You could go out in the world and say hateful things. You could go out in the world and be unfiltered. You go out in the world, say hateful, unfiltered things, and get punched in your throat. For a reaction, there's a reaction. Just saying. So there is, by nature, filters that we put on ourselves. Because as a society, we have all agreed that we don't say certain things, use certain language in XYZ spaces, right? You don't behave any kind of way. If I had to think about it, and I have had time to think about it, the safest space should be your home. Well, actually, it's your head, because what's going up in here. There is a song by Prince that says, if a man was judged by his internal thoughts, for the thoughts that go on in his head, he'd probably be in the electric chair. Let's admit that. Let's just go ahead and admit it. Because when I'm driving sometimes, dude, if I could run folks over, shit, I'd do it. I would do it. I would do it. So yes, safest space, inside voice. But operating wise, your home should be your safest space. Should be. Tends to be. And then we have safe circles, where we are allowed again to put the mask aside. These are those places where you can use some hateful language, and the persons in that circle would allow you to do so, understand this. We are too far along in the world to not act like we don't know about these places. Just gonna put it out there for you. Now, John Gruden had used some of his common sense. He probably put things in writing. But trust and believe, what he wrote, he has shared in his safe circles. Right? I don't want to talk about biases today or how folks tolerate stuff, but the fact that we can tolerate people and those who are different than us in that manner. He wore his mask a good chunk of the time. End of story there. But yes, those safe circles. Those. And we all have them. We all have them. You can be a little freeing with that inside voice in those safe circles. And then you get into society. Right, so now we're here. And I believe as kids, we are taught early on to put on a mask. We are taught what normal looks like. We are taught what success looks like. We are taught what happiness looks like. And so if you are an introvert or not some rambunctious kid, depending on what circles you're in, you may be told to be something that you're not, or to tone down what you are. At an early age, we are told to not shine brightly. And we wonder why we're in the hot mess that we're in today. With people being authentic. We created this mess. We created it. So the mask we wear in society. Let's start with success first. And we have social media to where we can now visualize and literally see the mask. There are those of us who choose to put all happy things on our social media feed. Everything's great. Everything is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna call bullshit on that every single day. Every single day. You know, if you're human, you got good days and bad days. You have them. There are days you just don't want to be bothered with people. That's life. That's real. I mean, my mother, God bless her, there were days when she didn't want to be bothered with us. With her kids. That's real. Right? So the idea of creating this social media feed where you never have a bad day. You never have a hair out of place. You never have problems. How do you even start a conversation about that life? Now, I want to make sure we're clear here. Some of us like the pipe dream. Some of us covet what we see every day. Deep down inside, we want what drug that person is pushing. We want it. We want to be seen as attractive and successful and happy, and we want to be seen as popular. We want that. Can't tell you why, that's a personal thing, but we want it. So we buy into it. We buy into the pipe dream. We pump up that person to continue creating this fictional life. But I gotta think for that person, God, that's gotta be hard work. You know, to take all these pictures and pose yourself just right, or to edit out things so it looks just right. I cannot imagine the pressure that is. To be something close to perfect. I don't even know what perfect is. But that pressure, like when are you ever not on? Like when are you ever not on? These images of, I'm out here on the beach, living life, And then you come home to your past due bills. Okay, I see you. Now, I know what you're saying. Some of you. You gotta be hating on them. Why you hating on them? No, 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 no. No, no. That's not hate. Not hate at all. So my social media feed, it is a mixture of a lot of quotes from the Daily Calm, because I do meditate. I've always been a person who works on self-development, so that's been around for the very longest time. If it's not about self-development, it is about a small business somewhere. It's about wine or champagne or some sparkling wine, because, you know, I enjoy it. If I'm too lazy to open it up, it's like it's not happening, but there's a good chance that there's alcohol in there or there's food involved. That's that. And then there's pictures of me here and there, right? Just doing what I do. That's about it. But there are good days and bad days. It's not always happy-go-lucky. It's not always happy-go-lucky. But that's where that filter comes in, that we talked about, right? That's where the filter comes in. Because there's a place where when people talk about being authentic, they want to give you everything. Now, I also believe those who claim to be 100% authentic, I think they're faking it too. I think they're doing too much. They're doing so much to appear so authentic. It comes across as fraud. Now, again, soapbox moment, Gwendolyn's opinion, but there's this fine line between like what's real and what's not, what's entirely too real, you know? Now, are there people that I have met who are really authentic, and you meet them in person, and the person you perceived them to be, they are? Yes, I know those people. I know those people, and they're amazing. I know those people, right? They operate like we all operate. Like, there is a filter. I mean, let's just break it down. The fact that there is identity theft means that yes, there is a level of being filtered. Okay, so there's that. But the mask of having this well-scripted life so that things never go awry. I'm speaking to those masks. And you don't even have to have money. People think that money makes everything great. Money will ease some of your worries, right? It doesn't make you happy. And hopefully we should know that by now, but whatever. It will ease some of your worries. But we have young people who don't recognize that they're looking at masks when they look at social media. And I have read stories about some of these young folks committing suicide and doing some awful things to themselves because they can't discern what's real and what's fake. That's a lot. It is a lot. When I get around my friends, I recognize their authenticity. I recognize when we are in this space, how we remove the mask. There are masks even in, let's talk about the workplace real quick. Just real quick. Let's talk about the workplace real quick. Because people have this assumption that when you're at work, and I don't care what job you have, that you're not allowed to be upset. Everything is positive. Everything is positive. Everything's happy. Everything is... Okay, I'm calling again. That's bullshit. It's still a job. It's still a job. Jobs have good days, jobs have bad days. You're working with other people who are not like you, and not all personalities mixed. So again, you find some level of, how do I work with this person? What working relationship should I have with this person? And you will wear a mask when you're in that building. When you're working, 9 to 5, you got a mask on. Now, the level of authenticity when you're wearing that mask, well, that's your choice. That's your choice. Because there are ways to be yourself and still be gracious, and still be understanding, and still be a pleasant colleague. That is possible. That is so possible. You don't have to be a yes man or a yes woman or a yes person. You don't have to shuck and jive just because somebody else walked into the room. As a matter of fact, I advise those not to do such things. Everybody has their something. What was it called when I was growing up? Oh, the people who brown nose? Yes. See, we've been wearing masks for a very long time. And there are people who, I am certain they're still brown nosers. Certain of it. You have to think they're wearing this mask to get ahead or to get in favor. And you start asking yourself, how much of your soul have you sold to the devil or whatever you hope to gain? But that has to be tasking too, right? Like, you gotta know, like, if you're that person who's the brown noser, people start noticing that. They look at you differently. They approach you differently. They work around you differently. But there are some folks who say, hey, if I'm gonna rise to the top and I have to knock a couple of folks down, who cares? I'll have the money. I'll buy new friends. Yeah. Now, there is a subtopic here when it comes to being authentic in the workplace. Because I'm clearly a black woman. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case. This year around 10. Yes, it's not really, it's just, yeah. In the way that I had to operate in a public business setting. I gotta admit, early on when I was younger, I can see where there were places where I may have adjusted myself to fit the environment. But I attended school in New York City, and the heart wants what it wants. And whatever mask I had on, Lord knows I lost that bitch real fast. Not gonna lie to you. And it was the best thing ever. So fast forward to when you're older and you are noticing things beforehand. Yeah. You don't believe in shrinking. And you don't believe in having to adjust things for someone else to feel more comfortable because they can tolerate you. I'm gonna save that for something else. We'll make that part of part 2 because, I can get into some things today. Okay, let's focus. Let's focus because, so this mask that we have for society, we're gonna leave it with this. Ask yourself how many times you put on a mask when you're operating throughout the day. Just ask yourself that. And again, it's levels. Like, we all do it. When you go to the grocery store, when you get in your car and drive to when there is a restaurant or run your errands, when you're seeing your family, when you're meeting strangers, when you meet your neighbors. Like, ask yourself, what mask are you putting on? And that mask, is allowing you to be your authentic self? Or are you recognizing when you're changing based on who you're around? Look at your social media feed, if you have one. If you have one. And I mean all the social media feeds. I mean, every single one. If you got something on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, all that stuff, like Instagram, look at it. And Instagram's a good one because pictures can tell you a lot about where somebody is, right? And what's going on in their head that they choose to post. Look at it and ask yourself, when I look at my social media feed, am I putting on a mask? Am I filtering my messages? Am I trying to portray myself a certain way? Like I said, we all wear them. We all wear them. You just have to decide just how many layers are you putting on. So,